Welcome to the Diamonds Forever 30-minute World News Update within Tele more with Captain and Company. We have our dial-in number currently is 209-205-1000, and we have another number that you can call in as well in addition to that, and it's 424-203-8405, same PIN code. And I'm not exactly sure why they gave us another number, but we now have two, but either one will work. Our replay line is 209-255-1099. And today's reference call will be 61. We have an email address that you can communicate with us as well. Our email address is diamondsforever31@yahoo.com. We also have international calling codes for our call. So if you know someone not in the U.S. that would like to listen to our call, send us an email at diamondsforever31@yahoo.com, and we will send you the international code for their phone number. Okay, Elizabeth, over to you.
Thanks, Judy. And welcome, everybody, to the Diamonds Forever 30-minute World News Intel and Intel with Captain and Company. And I'm Elizabeth. And we just want to give a shout-out to Amethyst. Amethyst, we love you. She can't be with us tonight. She's caught up, you know. Captain, by the way, she texted me and said to say hi to Captain and Judy, and sorry I can't miss it. I miss it tonight, and she's going to listen to the replay. Speaking of the phone numbers here, that 424 number Judy just gave out, you can put if you can't dial it straight 424, you can put a 1 in front of it. I guess they added that number to everybody's phone line because they're having technical difficulties with the 209-255 number. So if you ever have trouble getting in the 209-255-1000 number, call the 1424 number, and that might have a clearer line for you. So if anybody needs that repeated, we can say that at the end of the call. So let's get started with the recap of the news that went on this week. And, boy, I'm telling you, things are speeding up. They were speeding up, and now they're speeding up even faster and faster. I can hardly keep up. I don't think we're keeping up, really. We're only hitting the little tip of the whole thing. But I'll do a little reading here, and then we'll go to Judy, and then we'll go to Captain, and then come back to me for some stories too. Unless, Captain, you want to wait till after I go, or you want to insert. I know you want to insert some things that I have too to bring. So however it works out. This was sent to me by one of our listeners. Thank you, Carlos. And the link it's the website, and you can find the article, Miracles with an S, miraclesandinspiration.com. And the story is under Latest News, The Rebirth of the Republic, and The Rise of the Meek. So I'll just read a few excerpts, and it's really good and really well thought out and organized, so you guys want to go read the whole thing. Historic progress towards freedom made in last 6 weeks alone, and that's what he outlines here, and by date even, or she, whoever wrote it. Return of the U.S. to the gold standard close at hand, a world of transparency and disclosure rapidly emerging. This came out July 24, 2013, updated on July 25th, reported by a he, Scott Mowry. Miraclesandinspiration.com. The Rebirth of the Republic and the Rise of the Meek. Get ready. Our world is about to undergo a total and complete metamorphosis. Despite what you see on the nightly news channels and mainstream newspaper headlines, the world we have grown accustomed to is going to be transformed from the top to the bottom, spectacularly, magnificently. In fact, our world has already been deep in the throes of change, no more than any other period in the recorded history of mankind, bar none, as many anxiously await a series of major events to unfold, most particularly the global currency reset, and there's a link, to be implemented we must always be mindful of the overall big picture. In assessing the big picture, we can truly appreciate the unprecedented amount of progress which has been made and continues to be made towards the liberation of the human race just within the last few weeks alone. It is truly astonishing to see. At this stage of the game, it is clear the mindset of the world has escalated into a very high state in order to prepare itself for an impending global event of the greatest magnitude. There clearly are many, many signs indicating a strong sense of urgency is stirring within numerous countries as the brilliant, grand plan is coming more and more into focus with each passing day and in each passing hour. The grand plan we are witnessing now is nothing less than historic. Yes, historic. Let's take a quick review of what has transpired over the last 6 weeks. And he lists them by date and he gives links. I'll just skip over a few. Judy will use one, and that's I'll let her tell you. Oh, there's a lot, you guys. So I'm just going to skip over that, and there's a lot, and then let me go down to the end of the article, and you guys can read it for yourself. It's really good. Okay, have faith. All is unfolding in perfect order. Do not buy into the fear-mongering mainstream news headlines. Many of the more controversial news stories of the day are now being quickly exposed as fake or propaganda. Isn't that true, guys? Or at the very least, completely baseless. The news media is an integral part of maintaining the illusion, and they can no longer keep up the facade. Their days as gatekeepers of the flow of information are numbered as the restoration of the Republic begins to unfurl. So do not misjudge a world uniting as one to stand in resistance to a wicked force such as the New World Order as somehow a part of the problem. Amazing alliances have been formed which have never existed before. The human family is coming together in order to create a new earth and a new heaven, a true golden age for one and all. We are all in this together. You may be shocked to ultimately learn we are all connected. We are all a part of the same whole, W-H-O-L-E, a part of God, a part of the divine creator. Appreciate what has happened thus far and not frustrated with what has not. Remember the immortal words of the late John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And boy, is that pertinent today, man. We're at the precipice of disengaging from the propaganda machine and taking a stand en masse. We the people. Okay, that was me adding that. Each and every day we move even closer towards our freedom. Each and every hour our world is transforming. And each and every moment we are discovering the power which lies deep within us. And through all the struggles, all the trials, and all the tribulations, we are witnessing the fulfillment of the great prophecy. And the meek shall inherit the earth. I wish I could read that all. It's very awesome, you guys. So, once again, miraclesandinspiration.com. And the name of the story is The Rebirth of the Republic and the Rise of the Meek. Thank you, Carlos. It's great. To you, Judy, or Captain.
Well, which one do you want, Judy or Captain?
You guys toss the coin. I don't know.
All right, well, since I'm unmuted, I'll go. I've got breaking news. Halliburton pleading guilty to destroying evidence. 4.9 million barrels of oil spilled into the Gulf of Mexico after the oil rig blast. This is from CNN. Oil field services giant Halliburton will plead guilty to destroying evidence in the Deepwater Horizon disaster, the Justice Department announced today. Company officials threw out test results that showed little difference in the number of devices needed to center the cement casing in the well at the center of the 2010 disaster. According to court papers, Halliburton had recommended well owner BP use 21 centralizers, but BP used only 6, and the issue has been the key point of contention between the two companies. Halliburton is the third of the 3 major players to admit criminal wrongdoing in the 2010 blowout and resulting oil spill. BP and rig operator Transocean have already pleaded guilty to other charges. Next news is President Barack Obama said on Wednesday he would name Caroline Kennedy, daughter of the late President John F. Kennedy, as ambassador to Japan, lending the prestige of the storied political dynasty to the relationship with an important Asian ally. Kennedy, who has a law degree, is president of the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation and chairs an advisory committee at the Institute of Politics at Harvard University. She is active in Democratic politics, and the 55-year-old was an early and prominent supporter of Obama in his initial quest for the presidency in 2008. Her appointment is subject to Senate confirmation. Japan is particularly close and an important ally of the United States, and past U.S. ambassadors have been well-known political figures, including former Vice President Walter Mondale. Tokyo on Thursday welcomed the news with Chief Cabinet Secretary saying Kennedy's lack of experience in diplomacy and dealing with Japan would not be a liability. The Japanese will love her, they said. They love the Kennedys, and they have this fascination with all things Western, and they are obsessed with celebrities. And last night, yesterday, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon used a speech welcoming the New York Stock Exchange Euronext to the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative and talked about the sustainable investment. This also brought the Iraqi Stock Exchange officially part of the NASDAQ system. And they announced back in July that the Iraqi Stock Exchange was opening for international trading. They did a 2-hour test back then to make sure it was internationally recognized. And Ban Ki-moon said, I believe in working for more prosperous and inclusive societies, thriving markets and economies, and a greener planet. We cannot achieve these goals without the participation of all, and we need all to be shareholders in a sustainable future. And they thank the New York Stock Exchange Euronext for committing to this exchange initiative. And he urges stock exchanges around the world to follow their lead. They're going to work together to fight poverty, embrace ethical business practices, and promote social and environmental sustainability worldwide. Their aim is to generate a critical mass of socially responsible investors, entrepreneurs, businesses, as they prepare to uphold social and environmental principles, fight corruption, promote gender equality, and reject economic exploitation. Many feel this was the trigger for the global reset. And today we are hearing that Iraq just paid their citizens back to 2010. Their smart cards, their key cards are loaded and activated and are using them, which indicates the revaluation has taken place in Iraq, and that we are supposed to be seeing it here this evening. We'll see. It's supposed to be, what I'm hearing is when Hawaii banks close. So everything is looking really great for the global reset and the revaluation. And that's all I have. Back to you, Liz.
Okay. So let me just tell you, I wanted to give you some links of some phenomenal calls that were held this week, in case you guys missed them. These are do not miss calls. And first of all, the Diamonds call that we had Saturday was very extraordinary, and that's reference number 60. You go on the recorded line. I also was able to figure out how to post a link to that call, and that link is under the archives calls on iqdcalls.com. And iqdcalls.com, archive calls, that link to the Diamonds call. And I also posted tonight's call. I don't know if they got to post it or not. But thank you for iqdcalls.com. for posting our call. That's great. And so listen to that Diamonds call, reference number 60. It's very phenomenal. It's describing what we're about ready to experience. And I'm finding out, I just knew I had to get that out. I'm finding out it's going with all the other calls that came out this week. The two I'm talking about are the Hollow Earth call on July 22nd. If you go to hollowearthnetwork.com, you can find that link. It's the July 22nd call. It's phenomenal. And the other one was yesterday's call at 7 p.m., and that was Dr. Catherine May's call. She's linked with Hollow Earth, and she's on her website, and you can find the Blog Talk Radio for last night's call on Dr. Catherine May's is the simplest way to find it on her website. It's Who Needs, with an S, Light, whoneedslight.org. And you go to the tab of Blog Talk Radio and find last night's call. So let's see. And what's the other call I wanted to give? Those two calls and the Diamonds call. Those are phenomenal, and they go all with the Diamonds call. Okay. And Captain, are you ready? Otherwise, I have a couple other stories. I don't know, Captain. Keep trying to get unmuted.
Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh,
okay.
One more thing, Captain. Sorry, I want to add is there was a release of a writing that goes with Catherine May's call last night, and she sent it out as she was doing the call. They wanted it to go viral. It's very, very important to get it to everybody now, you guys. Don't be afraid to talk about all this stuff to everybody. We're at the precipice of this. It's really going to go. Really, really. It's really going to happen, you guys. So if we have time tonight, I'll read a little short part of that writing she sent out. And it was written for everybody. They say copy it, pass it around, put it over the internet, viral. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Captain.
Okay, all right. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to Diamonds Are Forever. And as you well know, things are happening, and they're happening at a most unusual time. And I find this very, very interesting because of the fact that we have a pope that's over in Brazil. And it's very interesting that he's in the South American region of Brazil. And I think the reason why he's there because a story has broken Italy today, and it says Roman Catholic Church is declared a transnational criminal organization. International arrest warrant has been issued against Pope Francis for criminality and treason. And the reason for this particular warrant for the arrest is because of the fact that his church and his behavior inside the church is of child abuse and money laundering, and for what it says here, to incite criminal behavior among all Roman Catholic parishioners, meaning that he's telling Roman Catholics to break the law if someone is trying to harbor rapists. He's asking them to break the law. For example, like a priest. If a priest comes into the home, they want them to be sheltered. And, wow, this is really a story. You can find this story on itccs.org. I repeat it. It's International Tribunal in Crime and Church and State. That's itccs.org. Read that story because you'll find it very, very interesting. And speaking of the Pope Francis, I find it very interesting that the people are finding him very lovable, very kind, and very generous. But at the same time, the real truth has to come out about this man. He's a Jesuit. And if you know anything about Jesuits, you got to read between the lines between that, because the Jesuits are not nice people. And he's the first Jesuit pope that ever got, let's say, elected to that position, ever, of all history, the first. Now, some may say he's a very nice gentleman, very nice pope, but I beg to differ from the two. So, but anyway, do your own homework, do your own research on this, and then maybe, hopefully, he will. What I'm trying to say is, maybe he will turn to the light.
Hey, Captain, what do you know about the Obama?
I kind of hope he does.
What do you know about the Obama Carolyn Kennedy story? Is there anything to that, or? And then congratulations, Kate and William, for the new baby.
Well, I can tell you that Caroline Kennedy was indeed selected to be the ambassador for China, for Asia, China, I believe it is, and that's very interesting because there's a real connection. Do you guys remember when President Nixon had made the first trip to China? And did you know that back then we did not have an embassy there, but yet President Nixon went there. And I find that very interesting at the time because we were at Cold War with Russia and China, and I kind of find that fascinating. But speaking of the baby, this baby that was just born 2 days ago from Kate and William of England, and I find it very fascinating that these two people had a child, which is a baby boy, and the news media is reporting that baby is third in line to the throne. Wrong. Prince Charles, Prince William, nor the baby George will never see that throne. The next in line for the throne is Harry. And I believe I mentioned this before about who Harry is. Harry is a commoner. He's not of the bloodline like Charles and William. Charles and William are the original bloodline. Harry is not. Harry was conceived outside the marriage of Prince Charles and Diana. Diana had an affair outside the marriage because she knew about the bloodline, and that's the reason why she did what she did, and that cost her life. But everybody knows the real story is that Harry will become king of England. Now we're saying that this may happen as early as September. I'm hearing September the 1st. Everything's going to be very different, and I'm quite sure that there is talk about Harry taking the throne very, very soon. So look for that to happen around about the 1st of September. Okay, Elizabeth, that's all I have to say for now.
I have a question, Captain. I saw an announcement today that Bernanke is stepping down September 1st, too. Is that true?
Everything is happening around September 1st. I'm glad you brought that up. Isn't it interesting?
Leaving,
all these politicians are dropping out September 1st.
Great, that's all I have. Thanks.
It's all connected, folks. I'm telling you. But anyway, take a look at that article on itccs.org about Roman Catholic Church is declared a transnational criminal organization. That's an excellent read. It's too long for me to read it, but I highly recommend that you take a look at it. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Judy.
Sure. And just to add to the Pope, all the Pope stuff, I see a duality kind of playing out there. On one side, the side that Captain brought, and then the other side when he didn't use the Pope mobile and almost got mobbed with people and stuff like that. And he's a personable person. So anyway, he's doing different things than the last Pope did, so I don't know. I'm not saying I'm just staying neutral, but it's just, what I'm saying is watching that is just giving us signs of what's coming or what's changing, you know what I mean, or both sides of it. So here's another sign I saw, in the news this week was Weiner, Mr. Weiner and his wife, and that scandal all going on. He resigned from, was it Congress or Senate this year or last year, and now he's running for mayor. I think it's New York. I'm not sure. I haven't had time to really research that, but I did see his speech with his wife in public this week, where some more sex scandal stuff came out about him, and he did not refute it, and he talked openly about it. And standing next to him was his wife, and his wife spoke too, and it was a very poignant moment where both of them talked, and you knew that behind closed doors they worked it out between them, and she forgave him, and she even said that in the speech that she gave, and it was very heartfelt. So to me, that was a sign and a wonder showing that, let's say Weiner's a bad guy, a bad guy, represent cabal or whatever from the Congress and government, and then his wife is representing us, the people, and they work, forgiveness. Anyway, and now since then, he was apparently on the top of the running in the mayor thing, and now they have another story out today that his numbers are declining. So who knows if that's propaganda or not? Who knows if, he changed his mind and really, really wants to be a good person and change his ways. You don't get stuck in the pedophile and sex stuff by an accident. It's all worked from if you trace all the way to the root of things, it was a plan from somebody else, not us. We're humans, even the bad guys. So we need to forgive them and love revolution is running, and it's on its way. Anyway, I wanted to bring that sign and wonder. And then the other thing to go with the financial stuff changing, on the other side of the Iraqi dinar and the gold standard changing in the banks, there is a young lady named Kiri, Kiri, in New Zealand, who, it's a long story and it takes some time to look at to understand, but she's in the process of reclaiming her value back, her energy that the bad guys have stolen from all of us, and that represents money to us. So she went to get that value back, $15 million of her value. There's way more that's been stolen from us, you guys, granted, each one of us. But first of all, I'll just give it in a nutshell and catch you up to where that is, because if this goes through, this is phenomenal for every person on this earth. Because they'll be able to get their value back too. Their energy that the bad guys have stolen, which is represented by money to us. If she does get her value back, since we're not used to that, and it'll take us a while to understand that, we'll still get our value and use our value through debit cards and instruments like that. But anyway, she informed all the bad guy cabal and this whole paradigm thing that's working the octopus. She informed everybody who she is and asked them who they are. And then she went to the bank, and they literally put $15 million in her bank account, and the next day they put a hold on it. And then they arrested her for 1 hour and let her go. And then they gave her a court date 2 days later, which is supposed to be 7 days to get ready. That's illegal right there. But so she went to court, and she did get out of court. She left court unhurt, unarrested, and she went home and had tea with her family. And she would not agree with their contracts they wanted to push on her. So that's where we are in the story, so we'll see where it goes next. But this is what she read to the court. And first she went into the court and she said, are there any objections? I mean, she knows what she's doing. She's a mother of 8, and she knows what she's doing. Don't do this if you don't know what you're doing. But she's the pioneer, paving the way for us if this so happens to go through. She asked the court, is there any objections? No. So she proceeded to read what she wrote. This is phenomenal. I'm going to read an excerpt of it. The courts have ruled that the only authority held by the government is authority that was delegated by we, the people. The courts have also said that we, the people, have all of the rights of the king. Therefore, we are all kings and queens. Be it known, she was reading this in front of the court in front of the judge. Be it known, and people in there, be it known that all persons claiming professional association with the existing court system, also including ministers, police, bailiffs, magistrates, judges, registers, and deputy registers, and other court officers and employees, and all other agents and prosecutors, from now referred to as I-NOR, in need of redemption, from varying other sources within the New Zealand company structure and substructure, are herewith noticed to stop and to recuse themselves immediately in all and any further action and involvements and relating to their respective positions. You could face charges in a common law court and in a trial by jury for treason or high treason for the past and present involvement in undue process of justice and perversion of justice by fraud, contempt, trespass, sedation, and any authorized administration of estates or trusts, or persons without authority of delegation from any executor officers, abandonment of their oaths of office as public service, and for impersonation of positions held under your oaths taken when, as a matter of fact, being engaged in commercial, revenue-generating enterprise contrary to the position supposed to have held. We, the people, could agree to appoint a transitional chief administrator. I'm going to skip over. I'm just going to read a few. Be it known to all women and men that this land is a common law jurisdiction and that all lawful courts are common law courts where free men can exercise their inalienable right to trial by jury. It is not true that no government official who represents anything about New Zealand has any authority whatsoever over the people, and the minute he or she attempts to assert any such authority, he or she immediately perjures his oath, engages in treason, and is engaged in sedition, because he or she is making war against the established government, which is the people, and he or she immediately loses all immunity he or she might otherwise enjoy. Anyway, are you getting the picture? This is a phenomenal reading she wrote in front of the court. And they let her read all that, and then, well, in the midst of that, I'm trying to get to that. In the midst of that, her reading, Curie began executing a notice to courts and agents, that's what I was reading, which was a statement written by her. This was a very powerful statement. This was a notice she had used in the past, which the court may have been familiar with. Curie was told to, quote unquote, stand in silence. During the execution of the notice, an officer walked up to her and said, "Shut up!" They didn't want her to talk about this. And Curie ignored them and continued to execute the notice to completion. It's very phenomenal if you guys read this, and the link, I can give it to you if you'll let me know afterwards. But I wanted to paint that picture, and we're still in the good news of Curie, and it's still continuing, so stay tuned. All right, so now I have Florida. If you could unmute, I just wanted her to add a little bit. She's going to read a little declaration regarding energy, and our value that you can say it, and she'll describe it a little bit. Go ahead, Florida. Star 6. Go.
Florida. Okay, so here's a remedy for prosperity. Generative energy, space, and consciousness. Can I be that would allow me to be the energy, space, and consciousness of unlimited receiving? Anything that does not allow that to show up, would you destroy and uncreate and pod and pock it all? Now, just to give you a little bit of an idea, kind of the background of coming up with a statement like that, you can go on YouTube and look up The Clearing Statement by Dr. Dane here. And he's part of Access Consciousness. But the clearing statement, there's energy in it. And so any issues that you might have, like stress or problems that you want to break the energy field with, you can use the clearing statement. Part of the clearing statement is you identify your issue, and then you say right, wrong, good, bad, pod and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, it's not cognitive that you have to understand it for it to work. And I'll just briefly go into this so I don't take up so much time, but the right and wrong, good and bad, what that means in the statement is what's good and perfect and correct about this, What's wrong means vicious, terrible, bad, and awful about this. What's right and wrong, good and bad. Pod is a point of destruction immediately following whatever you decided. So in other words, you made a decision based on a belief to lock you into a state of domination or committed to like a false belief unconsciously. And POC is the point of creation of your thoughts, feelings, emotions immediately preceding whatever you decide. All 9 stands for 9 layers of crap that we're taking out. You know, somewhere in the 9 layers, there's got to be a pony because you couldn't put that much crap in one place without having a pony in there. It's crap that you're generating yourself, which is the bad part. The good part is since you created it, you can change it. Shorts is a short version of what's meaningful and what's meaningless about this, what's the punishment for this, and what's the reward. Boys is nucleated spheres, similar to, it's not like peeling the onion, but it's like if, you know, a bubble blowpipe where the bubbles just kind of build on top of each other and then they pop one by one. It's similar to that. And then the beyonds are the feelings and sensations you get that stop your heart, stop your breath, or stop your willingness to look at possibilities. It's like when your business is in the red and you get another final notice, you say, arf, and you weren't expecting that right now. But the purpose of even doing a statement is to raise up any energies that you have to bring them all to the surface, and then you can, reject them and blow them out of the water to not have to continue the unconscious patterns that rule us. It's the limitation in the judgment, and it blasts it out with the existence of the clearing statement. And just briefly, I was on the call on Saturday, and I have done the declarations, the Andrew declarations. I am telling you, you've got to look at, they are so powerful. It is unbelievable. And this, the clearing statement and this other statement is kind of in line with some of that, where we're taking back our power. We have free will, and we can choose. It's our birth. It's our birthright. I've sent copies to Elizabeth if you want to post them on your link or some way.
Okay. And did you want to read the energy one, the 2-sentence energy one that goes with our value and our energy? Remember that one?
Oh, what generative?
Remember the one you were going to read for Carrie's article? Carrie's thing? Because of our value and our energy? The one you read to me like a week ago.
Oh, I don't remember.
What generative space and
what generative energy, space, and consciousness can I be that would allow me to be the energy, space, and consciousness?
Read that again really slow, please.
Okay, sorry. What generative energy, space, and consciousness can I be that would allow me to be the energy, space, and consciousness of unlimited receiving? Anything that does not allow that to show up, would you destroy and uncreate and pod and pock it all? Now, the clearing statement is a little bit longer, but you don't even have to know. You can just say, pod and pocket, pod and pocket. It actually works because there's so much energy into it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's great.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you can just define pod and pocket and read out loud in your vibration and then just start repeating it. It's kind of like a mantra. That's really awesome.
Okay, the pod and pock. The pod is the point of destruction immediately following whatever you decided. So it's like putting the bottom card out of the house of cards and the thing falls down. POC, P-O-C, is the point of creation of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions immediately preceding whatever you decided. So most of the belief systems that we have, they're other people's. They're not even ours. They're not even
the propaganda machine.
Yep.
Yes. So we can change all that just by choosing. Hey, pod pocket. What can you lose?
Thank you so much, Florida. Thank you so much. And we'll have you on again, maybe more on the extended call, too. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to star 6.
All right, dear. Okay, then, Captain, do you have anything else, intel or anything? Otherwise, we'll go to Destiny, and then we'll be done for the night. But I hope you're still here, Captain, because Destiny has something for you.
No, I do not have anything else, Elizabeth. Destiny,
Okay.
go right ahead.
Yeah, listen to Destiny, because it's for you, too, okay? Judy, you, too, and all of us. So, Destiny, come on in, hon. Star 6. Destiny, star 6. I can't hear you.
I'm here.
Okay, say something else again. There.
I'm ready to read the letter that I wrote to you, Elizabeth.
Okay, go for it, honey.
You really want me to read it as I wrote it?
Just read the paper one. Remember the second part you read, where it started, Dear Elizabeth?
Yeah, I know, but the thing of it is, I tell it like it is. And,
okay, I just want to say to everybody, this is another testimony. I just want to say this is another testimony of the prayer of one. I prayed this prayer with Destiny last night because she was having some things going on. And she got up in the middle of the night, was full of energy, and wrote this letter. So I wanted to share it with Captain and Judy and everybody. Go ahead, Destiny.
And I was going to break in with this, with what you just said, and tell the people, the good people out there, that prayer of one is magnificently wonderful, because I never had such a wonderful sleep, and the mind and the energy that I woke up with, I had to go and write this letter to you, Elizabeth, and to your people there on the Intel. And I wrote, and I said, Elizabeth, this was on 7/25/13, about 6 o'clock in the morning. It is so good. She called me and asked me to get on the Inner Earth call. And I'm very into the galactics and sciences and everything that's going on out there. And this isn't relative to that. And I loved the show last night. And I said, so good, Elizabeth, the Inner Earth call. Thanks. Do yourself a favor when you present this and any such information to your people. That will shock a lot of religious people. Expect that. But protect yourself by covering your butt. Tell them you're a teacher of all information, that you feel that you feed them, that's important for all to hear, and that it's up to all of these and those people listening to either believe it, disbelieve it, or like you and others whom choose to walk the so-called straddle line and chooses to sit back, watch, wait, and enjoy whatever happens, whatever does or does not come into fruition. That our higher power makes her decisions to make or not these messages become realities. That only when it becomes only then that you'll feel free to go with such news or whatever, that it's okay, as he gave all of us free choice, and so be it. But at least if such proves out to be true, then you won't be frightened to death, but instead you will be thrilled to have been forewarned, thus are able to sit back and enjoy the miracles of a new heaven on earth that practices unconditional love like you preach and like you teach, dear ones.
Yeah, and
hey,
then the
girl, you're growing in this business. I'm proved, and I'm so proud of you. You're a good student. You know how to listen. You know how to learn at the same time. That's hard for ego-prone people, like my husband, for instance. But I'm working on it. You know what I'd like you to do, After you put a copy of Hollow Earth's letter to be distributed on the websites and by the people, such as myself, I think it would be very advantageous to the Diamonds Forever and you, Captain, and Judy, etc., to also type out my letter on the photograph that I'm sending you, as it also is to be placed under that info letter for my personal response and thanks to you personally, all of you, from one of your listeners, but I must stay incognito in the background, at least for now. Too bad I Am, which is the name of the painting, can't be included. That was highly acclaimed by scientists as proof of the fact that our dreams can become realities. 20 years later, yes, I painted the painting 20 years ago, and it's becoming a reality now. It'll blow your minds, girl, but go gently. They are just babies, meaning myself, all of us, yet to become. And that's it for now. Go, girl. Go, all of you, with love, Destiny.
Thanks, Destiny. That was beautiful. Well, she mentioned you guys' name in there somewhere. I think she read that.
I mentioned it.
Yeah,
I mentioned it
Thank you.
several times, both Captain and Judy and you, what you're going into, which is happening right now, and people don't realize it, but they will, and they just have to sit back and watch it happen and not be fearful, because for some it may scare them to death, but for the people that are aware from the teachings that we're learning from people like you and in Earth, they will sit back and say, wow, what a show, what a deal. Thank you. We are getting our freedom. We are still gaining sights and growing from a baby into the 12th dimensions.
Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you,
That's
Destiny.
all I got to say.
All right. Thank you, Destiny. That was very, very nice. Thank you.
Okay, I just had one more thing, you guys, and that was that message that Catherine was, that God had her write to send out viral to everybody. I was wondering if you wanted me to read it. I don't know if people, we can ask these. Here, let's open up the lines. I'm going to see if you can read.
Burn.
Okay. Okay, you guys can unmute. So I don't know if you have access to computer or not, but this is probably a 3-minute reading if you want me to read it. And it says, a detailed message of ascension and what's about to happen. Print this out and make it go viral. And that was from Catherine May and channeled, God told her to write this. But do you want me to read it or not? *6, let me know.
Yeah, 3 minutes will take us to 9 o'clock. That's fine with me.
Okay.
Elizabeth, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, sure.
There's the website.
Okay, to get this, the website would be probably whoneedslight.org. Who needs with an S, whoneedslight.org, and that it's Catherine, and you'll find it on that website. Plus the radio show that Destiny alluded to that she talked about last night, is the Blog Talk Radio link is on, that's Catherine's call last night, and you'll see it. So that was last night, the 24th, isn't it? So whoneedslight.org. And if you can't find it still, call me. I'll help you. Or email diamondsforever31@yahoo.com or call 612-715-8314. Okay, so this is what Catherine, God says to just, it's time. Give it to everybody. Don't be afraid. Anyway, okay. This was last night. It came out. Dear ones, have you all been listening to the Blog Talk radio shows? And those are the 2 links I gave you at the beginning of this show. In addition to reading these messages, there's messages on her website. If so, you are now aware of the wonderful news we have given to you about the immense changes on the planet. Here is the announcement. All contracts are finished, ended. All soul contracts are now canceled. All those who came here to planet Earth to manage difficult illness, complicated relationships, and challenging handicaps are now freed of all pain, all suffering. You now are completely free to exercise your free will without karmic strings, as you might think of it. In addition, all financial contracts, such as mortgages, car loans, student loans, and other commitments, which have been arranged through banking institutions of all kinds, are hereby canceled. Personal commitments between friends will, of course, still be important to uphold, but corporations and banks will no longer be recognized as viable creditors because of the criminal and lawless system on which they are based. Now, of course, through this reading, she's talking spiritual, but we're going to see it unfold right in front of our eyes. Coming up here. We already are, but it's going to blow us away, guys. Okay, that's me. It is time for all of you to, this is the pamphlet we're going to hand out to everybody. Go viral. This is what they'll read, even if they read a paragraph of it so they don't get shocked, because we're about ready to get shocked, you guys. It is time for all of you to reclaim your freedom. Take command of your own lives and find your voices as you see others around the world doing by taking to the streets to proclaim their passionate desire for a better life, one of dignity and self-expression, which democracy allows. Your planet has declared her desire to ascend, and it has been done. You are now all in the historic position of being invited to elevate your consciousness to take part in the most ambitious plan ever executed in the history of the galaxy. Now, in the span of one Earth lifetime, you can move from a 3-dimensional life to the coming golden age in the higher 5th dimension. This is the paradise on Earth that was promised in your ancient texts. Every soul is given the opportunity to join in this magnificent adventure because, of course, you have all known since before you came here that you would be taking part in this ascension. It was a very prestigious opportunity, this lifetime journey. There are masters and angels, aspiring beginning souls, and ancient saints who have come to experience a last lifetime here on Earth in the somewhat infamous, heavy, dense, and difficult atmosphere. Here, the challenges abound for learning charity, patience, compassion, and empathy. A triumphant life is one in which the person can live through the temptations, pain, disappointments, and dangers and still come out at the end of their lives with a connection to their hearts intact. This was the last opportunity for all souls to experience this 3rd-dimensional free will planet because Mother Earth decided some time ago that it was her desire to leave this dimension, and she has accomplished it by fulfilling her long commitment to humankind. She has fulfilled her contract with us, Mother, Father, God, to care for our beloved children, and she was granted her wish to ascend into a higher dimension, which she has done. Many on planet Earth are not aware at this moment that everything has changed, and it is for them that we send this message through Catherine. We hope to reach all the people, all ages, all cultures, and all the corners of the globe to tell them of our great love for them and our great hope that each one will awaken and join in the glorious shift into a higher plane of existence. It has been a long and difficult road, this transition from darkness to light. Many have suffered. Many have had a repeat lifetime after lifetime, to advance in their learning process. but lessons learned on planet Earth are inevitably etched in consciousness. This is why it is a most popular place to incarnate, by virtue of its having been in the throes of a revolutionary battle between light and dark for eons. And now, dear children, you are within moments of completing your lifetime here. You have the choice this time to ascend with the body you occupy now. You will be taken off the planet to be renewed, restored to perfect health in a body in which you will be able to live forever. In the meantime, Mother Earth will do the same. When she does, she will be restored to the pristine loveliness and purity of her original beauty. You will not have to worry about Armageddon. There will be no terrifying pole shift or world war. All nuclear weapons have been neutralized. Those dark ones who have secretly controlled the resources of the planet have been removed from power. Many will be tried for crimes against humanity and will be prevented from ever returning to positions of influence. You have been seeing the UFOs in your skies for generations now. Crop circles containing messages to humankind have been created so frequently as to have become a common occurrence. Your scientists and governments around the world have long been aware that your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters are trying to make contact with you in a peaceful way. But the wall of secrecy and lies has grown with every encounter. Those who control the wealth on the planet did not want to give up their power by allowing the people to have free energy, new ways of communicating, and the other great advantages which these visitors possess. Now, the final chapter of this saga of planet Earth has begun. Everything is changing at a very rapid pace. You will finally begin to see evidence in your mainstream media of the profound shift which will allow those who have lived lives of service to others to be revealed as your ascended masters, and they will be standing by help with the dramatic changes you will be feeling. Or they will be standing by to help with the dramatic changes you will be feeling. And we talked about those on the Diamond's Call, reference number 60. Okay, almost done. There will be announcements to inform you of the true history and progress of the evolution toward light. Nothing will remain the same. Nothing will remain the same. So there will be no possibility that you can remain detached from what is going on. Every being on the planet will be required to choose their path, to ascend to a higher level of consciousness, or to end this life in the usual way, through death and the return to God in the usual way. Those who choose to ascend now to higher levels of consciousness will be freed of the process of reincarnation and life after life, and will be given the ability to live eternally in the higher expression of life in a lighter, more highly evolved body in higher dimensions. Those who choose not to join the ascension will continue their lessons at lower levels in other places. Earth will no longer be available as the three-dimensional proving ground. She has been recognized for her millions of years of service and has at last been granted ascension. She has selflessly slowed her process to allow as many as possible to awaken and join her in this glorious graduation to higher dimensions. The shift has occurred because of the great numbers of humankind who have awakened once more after thousands of years of being separated from their connection to God. Religion, as you have known it, will drop away as everyone discovers that they can communicate directly with us. Mother, Father, God, we are here with you always, whispering in your ear. And for those who have listened to the radio shows with Catherine and Ann, you have talked with us in person. This week, we have announced definitely that the one you have known as Zora is, in fact, Father God. It was easier for many to talk freely and to ask questions when the voice, okay, and then that goes on. Okay, let me Go down here to the bottom, you guys. Relationships will continue in more loving and accepting form, and all will discover their true spiritual identity as participants in the glorious Earth project. All children, animals, and other spirit beings will ascend effortlessly. It is the adults we are concerned with. Time is short. Raise your consciousness and your vibrational level by taking complete command of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Open your hearts to love without judgment. Practice forgiveness in all your relationships, and do not permit yourself to fall into condemnation or judgment of anyone. Even those who have hurt you, or those who practice a different religion or ideology than your own, all will melt away in the elevation into oneness which comes with ascension into higher dimensions. Okay. 2 more paragraphs. Your bodies, your present identities, and all you thought of as reality will be revealed as the brief moment in eternity it really is. You will soon learn to feel and use your God powers. For you are indeed created in our image. You are God's, each and every one. You only need to accept the close connection to us which flows through you. We are your creators and your biggest fans. Unlike human parents, we never lose patience or hope or trust in your ultimate triumph as individual souls and as precious members of the great legion of intelligent, conscious beings. It is time for you to take your place among the Galactic Federation of Light as full member representatives of your planet Earth. You will soon see the thousands of ships and millions of star brothers and sisters who are here to embrace you and bring you gifts. Welcome them with open hearts and minds. Leave behind the old concepts about what warlike conquerors. These are beings, human and otherwise, whose civilizations have evolved far beyond yours, emotionally, physiologically, and technologically. Their technology is far advanced of yours, created with love and used only for the greater good. And we're going to talk more about that on the next Saturday call, which is August 3rd. This Saturday is a Hollow Earth call. Don't miss it. Okay, read our many messages to you, which have been all posted on Catherine's website. Take this message to the world as a current events introduction to what is happening now in your world. Show it to everyone you know. Talk about what you have learned here and supplement it with further information from the website. Do not jump to conclusions on the basis of this one message. If you have questions, read further. Ask questions to the Blog Talk Radio show. We love you more than words can ever describe. Your Mother, Father, God, via Catherine May, July 24th, 2013. And I did skip over like 3 paragraphs, you guys, but it's very longer than I thought. Okay. What do you think? Any questions? Anything? Everybody leave me?
I'm here. I don't know about the rest. Very interesting.
Okay, we're done here.
But do you have the thing for Hollow Earth call? Some information on a number or something?
Yeah. Hollow Earth Call is now on Blog Talk Radio. It's Hollow Earth Network. If you go to Blog Talk Radio and put in the search bar on Blog Talk Radio, Hollow Earth Network, you should get to it. There's a link on hollowearthnetwork.com for the Blog Talk Radio. And then there is a phone number, when it's on live. Gosh. For Captain, do you have that offhand? I can't get to my phone because I'm on it.
I think Captain's gone. The truth call started already.
Yeah. There is a phone number. If you don't have a computer, you can get to the Hollow Earth call when it is on live and the Catherine May call when it is on live. And if you need that, you can call me, 612-715-8314, or send an email, diamondsforever31@yahoo.com. Okay, let's stop the recording. Anybody has any questions?
Just want to say our next Diamonds Forever call, which is the extended version, is on Saturday, August the 3rd at 1 o'clock. And I'll stop the recording.
Thank you. Love you guys.